What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday. Excited to share this DJ lesson with you. I feel like it is a sign of the times that we have to talk about the role of AI in DJing. So, I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite tools that I use on a pretty regular basis when it comes to DJing. As I'm going through each of these, I'll kind of talk to you about the different use cases for them and know that how you use them, you can go even beyond what we share here today. It's really just about the role that you want to have in utilizing these tools. But I would definitely recommend that. I personally think with AI, more of a lean in than lean out. The more that AI develops, the better it gets, the more that it can be supportive. However, there are definitely are hard rules that I will place when it comes to, I never think a live DJing will ever be replaced, at least for my own enjoyment, by AI in that sense. However, there are different things that we'll talk about that can definitely make your processes feel much more easier, I hope. So let's get started with the first tool today. We're going to be talking about Fader. Now, this has range of help that can be great for music producers just as much as DJs. They have playable instruments like SynthGPT, where you can literally write a prompt and create synths and pads and melodies just based on that. But we're going to be going into the different DJ tools that are available. Now, for the stems piece, you can go ahead and take a track that you like and go ahead and actually remove any of these pieces from them. So if you want a pretty clean way of utilizing AI, for instance, of removing everything but the vocals and making your own acapellas, you can totally do so here. And you can go ahead and even go as far as trying to remix and make different versions of tracks that can be supported. So, and then it'll save all of these in here. These are some of my previous projects that kind of got started on, even in regards to music production or just trying to make mashups by taking a vocal that I really like and then putting it on a separate track. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the DJ tool over here. So you can work with your own songs, the ones that we just took a look at in my library. Say we wanted to take a look at some new disco house, for instance. We can go ahead and see we've got this track over here. This is one that's already been created in Fader. And this one. And we'll go ahead, we can keep the crossfader in the middle. And we have really it's pretty basic mixing, but it is a method of mixing on your laptop, having two channels, being able to decide what the BPM is, what the key is, and then you can go ahead and decide if you wanted to mute the drums, the keys, the guitar, and it'll analyze that based on what all is included in a track. If a track has vocals in it, there's also going to be a microphone so that you can also remove that so that it's not impeding on your mix. So it's pretty well thought out for something that's just a web-based tool in this instance. So let's go ahead and make the BPM. Let's see, we've got 112 over here and 123 over here. So we can just bring that up to say 115. And we can start playing this song, for instance. Let's take a look at removing these layers. Bass and melody. And maybe we want to go ahead and just bring in the drums of this track. Yeah, I guess we can't scratch there. Trying to drag my cursor over this. But yeah, pretty simple, pretty concise, a way that you can totally utilize this tool. Say you're in a pinch, you've got your computer, you want to play around with some AI music on here, you can totally go ahead and do that. and find different types of tracks across different libraries so that you never have to stop the beat. So the next one we're going to go ahead and take a look at now is, first off, I kind of want to break down DJ record pools for a moment because you may have come across these. These can be a great way to get new music, new releases, exclusive tracks. Whenever you go and see DJs who always have the music that like you're trying to Shazam and have never heard of, they're probably to some degree using record pools if they're not going through, say, SoundCloud's free downloads of new music, or in other types of pools where music is just, it's like you're hearing almost these exclusive edits and releases. So I really like that for this example, and it can be whether it's this record pool or another one. I'm going to show you a tool where you can go ahead and create a command. So if you want to go ahead and download music in bulk instead of having to go in and download it track by track and listen to it, you can just pick out all of the tracks that are in the exclusives. So one of the tools that I would recommend for doing this is Skyvern. With this, you have the ability to create commands that directly interact with a task you want to accomplish. So I have this task that I've put up here, which is to log into bpmmusic.io, the record pool that we're looking at. Use the credentials that I will paste below. From there, I want you to log in and then click releases and download the latest MP3s on the right side of the screen. So we'll do this. This is a fairly simple task. We're just going to use version 1.0. We're going to go ahead and prompt it. And then what it's actually going to do is pull up a better version. It's going to add more to that prompt to make it look better. So it even adds like a guardrail in here. Do not attempt to download more than 10 files. Ensure the files are MP3 format. And then we can see the advanced settings over here. First, we would have to go ahead and put in these credentials, username or password, and then it would be able to extract that. So since it doesn't have any of that data, can't do that yet. Then we can just see additional advanced settings over here for other pieces that you want to include. So a great way to use that for record pools, or even I'm sure you can connect this with Beatport and add your look for certain playlists or releases and just get really specific on what it is that you want to use and download. So a great tool to support you instead of having a more manual process for downloading music. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about, since I know we're also going to be doing more lessons that involve more on Serato, and we've already done some. But one of the biggest notes that has come out recently is Apple Music's integration with Serato DJ. So they're giving DJs instant access to over 100 million tracks. So there's no more endless crate digging, time-consuming download, just being able to like search, load, and play anytime and anywhere. So it's going to allow your set list to be able to be created faster, discover sounds more instantaneously. So for whether you're a new DJ or you already have a large library, but you want to look through and find music faster without necessarily having to download it, but just stream it, it's definitely going to give you more time and attention to focus on the more creative aspects of DJing. And I thought this was pretty cool. With the release of this, they have Serato and Apple Music have been working with certain DJs. I think this one is Z Muffin, who has been working to help create different playlists for Serato. So you can go in and find what other DJs are already playing that they're giving out as playlists that are handpicked to help you be creative, to help you, maybe work on mixing other people's music. We have all of these different DJs that are working with Serato and Apple Music. So once you utilize that integration, you will need to have Serato DJ Pro, which is available either as a 1 year or subscription model. There is a free trial of it as well, I believe. And you can go into, a multitude of these type of genres and crates and start playing around with that. So yeah, definitely navigate to Serato's website to get a sense of this. You can also get a 1 month free trial in Apple Music to get started on mixing. This was just released this week, so it's very, very new. definitely something for you Serato DJs that can be really, really supportive. Now, what I want to go into, and this is going to be kind of the last and largest piece of this, is talking about really what I would say is the number one AI DJ tool, which is DJ Studio. No, it doesn't really great here. I'm gonna go ahead and like show you the website, and then we're gonna go into the application. But it can be a really creative way to immediately start DJing. You don't need a controller, a mixer. So, I've seen a lot of radio show hosts, people that are uploading, DJ mixcasts, podcasts, being able to do so from here. So that, especially if you're in a crunch or you're, working with different labels or organizations and you need to, put together a mix quickly and you don't have your gear, you can go ahead and do this. I mean, I've been on airplanes where I've seen DJs in like front of me that are whipping together sets with DJ Studio. It's always a fun conversation starter. Now, it's like I like that this tool exists. Again, I love being, manual and working with the tools and technology and getting my hands involved with mixing and using the knobs and everything. But this can definitely be a time saver. This can also be a great way to prepare a set ahead of time because there's really, really incredible tools that we're going to look at that are going to help you be able to also figure out the right order of a mix. So you can go ahead and download it up here. Actually, what I was going to click on, it's like it new instantaneously. It's not so far-fetched to believe our computers are listening to us or our phones or any technology that we have that we can interact with like this. So yeah, you can try DJ Studio now for free for 7 days. Get unlimited mixes and precision transitions and so much more. You don't even need to include a credit card either. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first, if we look at the library, because what I actually have done is logged into Rekordbox and I can pull my Rekordbox playlist through here. It'll tell me how many songs are in here, so I can go through the, uh, I can go through track lists that already have a number of songs and figure out what a good order for them might be. There's even ways of being able to get a understanding of what tracks you should add to a playlist and to make it sound better and more cohesive using their AI tools. There's different views here, just like in Rekordbox. You want a compact view so you can see more of these tracks, and then it's gone ahead and analyze this, and we can go into my settings up here and go ahead and do more of this auto analysis ahead of time. It works with mixed in key to go ahead and give you the alphanumeric way of looking at your tracks in key, so it's easier to find the ways to mix them harmonically. And then a whole bunch of other settings down here, shortcuts, whatnot, that can be really helpful. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've taken one of my playlists from here and I had it analyze it. But let's go ahead and just create a new one so that we can see from the beginning what that looks like. So let's do we can just do this one over and filter. Oh, we want to go ahead and add these 15 tracks to the mix. So it's importing these tracks. And then what I can go ahead and do is hit, yeah, since we already have most of these here, I'm going to go ahead and just delete them from here. All right, you know what? Let's work with what we got because we're just going to look through some examples. But let's go ahead and click on the Harmonize tab because we're going to be able to get our playlist in the optimal order of the tracks with the best sounding transitions. They typically recommend doing this with at least 10 or more tracks. And so we can go ahead and do this, and it's going to find the best combinations looking through this archive of music based on what it's done with similar BPM, genre, key of combinations that the tool has done in the past. So it's like the more it's being used by everyone, the better the mix is going to be. And it was able to use 195 million possible mix combinations, create this most perfect mix for us. So let's see how well they do. So yeah, I can see there's all these dupes here, and just so they don't see them populate, do that. I'll actually do that again afterwards so it doesn't get like confused and do the same thing for us with 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 multiples. So let's do that one more time. And then we'll just work with this with what we got. We may have a couple more, but this way you can see what kind of transitions they're going to be utilizing and how we can work with an initial markup of this data, and then we can go ahead and listen to it and hear how it sounds. So now we're going to go into the Studio tab, and it'll have the track list on the bottom, and then it'll also have it over here. So as we scroll over, we can see this, and with this mix right now, it's already created an hour and 45-minute mix for us. So let's just take a listen at a little bit of the first track to see how they decided it, then listen to the transition, and then listen to another track afterwards. We can even increase the EQs over here, add a filter to it, high pass or low pass. So in terms of the actual recording of it, we can also set up automations. We can add these as effects. Say we want to add a filter. And if we do one, this line, we can automate it. So we'll just go ahead and delete that. Well, maybe not the track, but the filter. And then here we have the transition over here for the next one. Let's listen to that again. It was a little bit choppy. I'd say for an AI tool, that was pretty darn smooth. And let's take a look at what it actually did. So we bring the lows all the way down and the lows all the way up here. So it was a base swap that they used, crossfaded it, and then where did that go? Yeah, over here. Crossfade, 50% swap, and then deciding what bar they want it to be done at. But let's just bring that over manually here. Cool. You can also adjust how long the transition takes place, because we can actually see here, we're just going to pause it for a second, that it muted these first 8 bars of the track, and it's just mixing in at the 9th bar to, actually this would be, it's a 4-bar transition, and it completely skipped over the first part. So we can even listen to that if we want to expand it to happen over here. We want it to be at the exact same section, so we can do that here. Yeah, let's take a look at how this sounds again. So yeah, just a longer transition. I just wanted to keep it more, let's see, yeah, more. And I was just hitting Command Z for undoing that to make it happen more seamlessly, which maybe for a radio mix keeps it more exciting for the listener. So now I'm bringing two fingers to scroll up to kind of zoom out of the mix. Let's take a look at this as we get over here. And I think energy-wise, this feels pretty solid. To me, this sounds a little bit slow. Like this could have started sooner over here. What we can do instead, maybe bring this out. Let's see how it sounds kind of at the end instead over here. And we'll see why I didn't choose to do that. Yeah, personally, I like that better. So this is where we can sort of add our own customizations. It'll also show us the transition of key, still keeping it looking good harmonically. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, and then it gives you all these different options for how we want to adjust the bass, the mids, the highs. So you can go ahead and add even more customization. Say you're the type of DJ that likes to do a lot more carving of the lows, mids, and highs. Think of those as your different tools that you can do so for each track over here and how you want to make that adjustment. So overall, I think the best thing that you're going to be able to learn from DJ.studio is being able to go ahead and get your hands messy with it yourself and be able to learn some different things that you can utilize for adding more pizzazz to your mixes. Maybe there's certain transitions that you're doing with songs right now that you wish could be better. Well, that's where you can go ahead and upload it in here and see what the AI would go ahead and do. And then you can listen to that, sort of make refinements in here, and you can go back to your mixer after and test that out. So it's a great way of almost like allowing AI to teach you or reteach you how to become a better DJ or how to find more unique ways and styles of transitioning. So a little bit of an overview on the different tools that I've been utilizing for expanding my DJ mixes. Let me know which of these that you've either tried already or would like to try, or if there's other questions or tools that you would like to know about for AI, because there's dozens out there. But I found these to be helpful. I hope you find this helpful, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take it easy and drop a comment if you found this to be supportive in your DJ journey. Cheers.